Good evening, everybody. Hope everyone's having a great evening. I couldn't sleep, so I'm up doing a little bit of painting. I'm going to use this flat brush, and I know you've probably heard of, and if you haven't, you can check it out, the technique that's called one-stroke painting. Well, that, of course, is done with folk art and folk art paint, acrylic type paint. Very pigmented. It's beautiful paint if you want to work with that kind of paint, and fun to do. Well, did you ever think that you might be able to do it with watercolor? Well, I just did a tutorial a little bit ago doing flowers, which came out really beautiful. But right now, because I don't like my videos real long, I'm going to show you what the one-stroke painting is in case you don't actually know what that is. It's a technique that a woman, right now I can't think of her name, or I would say her name, and I'm sorry that I don't happen to think of it right now. I'm sort of half awake and half asleep from not being able to sleep. But anyway, if you Google one-stroke, you will find the woman and the name of her. So, but this is something I'm going to demonstrate with watercolor and acrylic paint. Now I'm going to take what you do. Okay, I'm going to use this little thing I have. You get one side of your brush in one color. Okay. Then, because I don't want to use another acrylic, I want to show you in watercolor. I'm going to go into this purple, and with this side of my brush, if I can get the color onto it, because it's a little bit, and then I come down here and you go back and forth and work it into the brush. Then you come to the paper. This is mixed media, black paper, and you put it down here like this a few times, and then you go up and wiggle the brush. Don't have enough water on there. Wiggle. I'm using water because I'm using watercolor paint and acrylic paint. I could use the other, but I don't have it out right now. And I am doing the same thing, basically. Well, I am doing the same thing as you do with the acrylic, the folk art. And I think it's very beautiful. So again, let's just go over how it's done. So one side of your brush, these are little pill containers that I use for my acrylics so I don't mix them up with my watercolors, because acrylics dry very hard where watercolor does not. So let's do two acrylics. I'm gonna get this side into yellow. Okay, we're gonna work it out on the palette. Work back and forth to get the colors into the brush. We're going to come up here, 1, 2, 3, and wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. That's how it's done. Again, I'm using water. There's other mediums that can be used, but didn't even have that around me tonight. And there's another beautiful one. Now, it doesn't matter whether I'm making a flower or whether I'm making just a couple lines. The whole idea is with one stroke, we have one color and another color. Now, I can actually right now, I can dip into where my white was. I can go here to what I've got on the palette, and I can sort of come over here and just sort of do this. I'm just mixing some colors. So that's, the one stroke is that technique that you have one side of your brush with one color, the other side of your brush with another color. And it's beautiful. Now, if I wanted to do, I could do leaves. So I could get some yellow on one side, and I can get some, Hopefully this green is not too dry. And get some green on the other side, working in again. And I can draw lines for stems that would have two different colors. I can do a leaf, another leaf, this kind of leaf, these kind of leaves. I'm running out of yellow. On this black paper, it really shows up nicely. Well, look at this. It looked like it turned out looking like it has a fold in the leaf. I mean, how incredibly cool is that? So let's do. We can also do these types of leaves. We can wiggle this, turn this one over, and make a leaf in the same way I would do the flower. The flower was like this. Just need some more yellow or white, whichever. It's a wiggle action, back and forth, back and forth. It's an awesome technique. And I mean, that's how you do it. But I wanted to show you how cool it is using also watercolor. It doesn't work so well on white paper, I find. I find that I actually do kind of have to have, it works, but it works very nicely on black paper to see it. But you can do it on white paper. Now say I wanted to make a leaf in these colors. Right now I got a little yellow on there, a little white, and a little purple. And I didn't take it off. I had it right next to me on the palette. And that just adds an added dimension to the flower, or the leaf, or the stem with a little yellow. Now you've got some real nice color blends going on. So to show you once again, dip it in the white and dip it in the purple, because that just shows up so nice with a little bit of other colors in it. Put this down, come up and down, wiggle, 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 wiggle. Turn it over, you got, you know, for the other side, and wiggle. I like to swing in like that for a pretty design to it. This will be quite short because it's just kind of showing you the technique of it itself. So I'm going to get some white again and some blue, because that's also a nice combination on this black. And let's do some pretty leaves, or this will turn into a different kind of flower actually. Now also, this stuff is dry, so I can like come here and on top of that flower, which would be layering, right? I can put another one. But that's the technique of this one stroke. And no matter what it is that you're painting, no matter what the object, no matter what thing you put it on, this is how it works. If I wanted to, I don't have to have white. I can have a yellow top and a purple bottom. I could do it that way. The colors don't matter. They matter only in the fact that whatever you're choosing to do, if you know, it's up to you. That's the only reason why they matter. Some work a little bit better than others, but it's really all about what you get on your brush, how much pigment you get on your brush. So I'm going to go into the blue and that yellow. These are pretty strong, both of them. And right over this that's dry, we're going to make another flower. That blue is not showing up that much. So let's get a darker blue. I think it's because I got too much water on the brush. But there's a blue again. Yeah, that's because I have too much water. I didn't wipe the brush off. But that's the same idea. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. If I put a lot more yellow on my brush and a lot more blue. Well, I got a few things I just mixed all up, so we'll use it. And here we are. It takes a little getting used to, this wiggle, but it works out fine. Now I'll just go dip into some white, and let me just come in here and right inside the one that I just did and do something right inside the flower I just made. Again, it's two colors, one on one side, one on the other. Now I'll show you what I mean by working it in. So we'll get a little bit closer. We'll get white and we'll get blue. And we come over to, if this was the palette, we would set it down and work it back and forth like this. You see the colors and how they're blend and how they're getting into the brush. You see? You can stop at that one like that. Another way in flower here in this is the Cabbage Patch Rose, which she does. You just put it down the end, put it like this, come on this side, scoop down and come over, then come to the side and wiggle, come across. These take practice, folks. And there you have part of the Cabbage Rose that she also does. It's using this part of the brush here. It kind of starts here and folds over like that. That's how those are put together. And you can make a beautiful, I can come into here with a smaller brush. Let me just get a smaller one for a minute. Make one of those types that I just showed you, the Cabbage Rose. What color can I use? Blue, I guess. And come in, where was I? Oh, okay, we can come in here and add to this beautiful kind of layer a bit right inside this one that we've already, put down. Like that. Come around again. Do you see what I'm talking about, the technique? So that's all I wanted to show you guys tonight. I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you got some good tips out of that, because that's something that I like to do with watercolor is enjoy it's not going to be as vivid and as strong as the folk art and acrylic, but that, you know, on the black paper it pops right out. I believe when I used watercolor paper, I put a layer of color down first with acrylic paint so that, and let it dry, and that was a nice strong background like the black. I think I did blacks, reds, blues, greens, and then I did the same thing, which you can do. I have this paper, so I thought I would try it. So I hope you try that, folks. I hope you give it a little try of your own. You know, zoom in, slow down the video, whatever you've got to do to try this out. This is the one-stroke technique that is normally done with acrylic paints, done with watercolor and acrylic. And if I had any white paint in my palette, which I don't, of watercolor at the moment, because it's a different palette. I would show you that it can also work with the watercolor white, especially the Chinese white, I think it is. So anyway, tell me what you think about it, folks, and check out my other tutorials. There's a lot of other fun and interesting things. And have a great night. Bye for now.